Something I'd really love to see, looking at leaderboards one day and seeing 20 different country flags on the leaderboard. You know, not just the registration, but you know, in the mix of these tournaments. And I hope the McBeth Foundation has a hand in that growth, in that development.
Montenegro is a small country, but it's a beautiful country. My name is Vukašin Baušić. I'm pastor of the Crossroad Church and director of the Logos organization. Usually what people play in Montenegro is soccer, and nobody knows more about other sports. 2017, I was in USA for the first time, and I found two guys from Texas, and they said, you know what, you should go and play something with us.
Especially with Luke. Okay.
They said, disc golf. Disc what? And it was a beautiful course. It was going so far down, and you needed to go later up. Then I said, man, we should have this in Montenegro. So I was like, please give me some disc, I want to bring it in Montenegro. He said, but those are my personal. Okay, then that means I will just take from you. I'm bringing that in Montenegro, definitely. So he said, okay, I will give it to you. And I started hitting in Montenegro trees just to try to learn how to play this golf.
Okay.
My name is Avery Jenkins. I'm the 2009 Disc Golf World Champion, Discmania team manager, and I'm also the DiscGolfPark sales manager. I've been involved with disc golf for over 37 years, traveled all over the world, playing, competing, teaching, coaching, instructing. The thing I'm into most these days is designing courses. Awesome, good morning, and I feel like I'm doing a clinic, sorry. Good morning and welcome to Montenegro. This is the first disc golf course in the country of Montenegro, all because this guy right here, Vukašin, I've been calling him the disc golf guy for obvious reasons. He's the one that's the creative mastermind behind this, bringing us here, obviously with Paul McBeth Foundation, all their efforts. Beautiful setting, beautiful piece.
So I didn't know anything about him. I heard he's the world champion. I didn't know what to expect, you know. He's supposed to come in Montenegro, he was coming, his flight was delayed for like 2 days.
At some point later in the week, we need to cut some pathway transition.
He's an awesome guy, you know, he's exploring all the time. He will just go, shall we do this? He's a strong man, and I like that he's a good worker.
You gotta have it straight, you gotta avoid the left and the right. Yeah, my first initial impressions of Vukašin, you know, we met several times on video chat and talking on the phone, talking through details of things. We hit right off the bat, you know, and even being out here walking the property and designing and getting through that whole phase. He's my co-designer.
We did design together, mostly him did design. I was like helping him, you know.
It looks so raw right now, and if I can talk Vukašin into context.
I was thinking because he's the good designer, he's the big, you know, head, somebody, he'll be like so proud, he will go just like that. But he was a humble man. He was listening to me like we are equal.
So Vukašin and his team put in a lot of work over the weeks leading up to this. And so they dug 14 of the 19 holes, 19 being the putting basket and the 18.
Talking with Avery and designing that with Avery, I know it's happening because he's the guy who will say, it's happening. There you go. We'll have a course. And I believe that because I knew, I can sense that he's the guy who will do it. I love him.
Discmania DiscGolfPark being a gold level partnership of Paul McBeth Foundation. We did a project last year in Chicago. Wanted to do a project this year. Brand new country to me, never been to Montenegro. Knowing where it's at in the world and knowing that they didn't have disc golf, like surveying UDisc and seeing where courses were and where the courses weren't. And this was a definite dead zone, but a very good sweet spot to drop a course.
My name is Maris. I am from Czech Republic. I started disc golf 5 years ago when I was on student exchange in Finland and I lived right in front of basket. First time I met Vukašin, it was in some organization. Actually, I got a tip that he had same idea like me. When I started studying in Montenegro, I was wondering that this country gives me a lot, open warm-hearted people here in this country. So I was wondering what I can return back to this country. And when I saw this park, I said, yeah, I think this is idea which we can do it.
We started talking and I said, yeah, I'm building this golf course in Montenegro, in Nikšić. What do you think about that? He was like, oh, that was my dream, you know, I saw that it will be awesome in Nikšić, but I didn't know how to connect to anybody.
It wasn't so easy for just Czech random guy to do something in the politics when I don't have connections, when the people don't know me. So I needed someone who have like kind of more power and influence on the people.
So I said, I have one connection with one foundation, Paul McBeth Foundation. Do you know about them maybe? He was like, Paul what? Or Paul McBeth, I think, something like that. He was like, Paul McBeth? Is he coming? He's the huge thing. He's the best thing, player ever, you know. And he's coming to Montenegro. Yeah, he's coming to Montenegro. Okay, I need to check about that guy. I didn't know anything about Paul McBeth.
And when I heard about this, that Paul McBeth is coming here to cooperate on our project, this is now something big. This is now something which is going to happen.
Yeah, so can we do 2 p.m. maybe? Because I'm going to pick up Paul McBeth. Sana will go probably with
When I first heard about the project in Montenegro, first thing I did was look up where's Montenegro. I heard it was kind of Eastern Europe. I didn't know any details about it, and first thing I saw on Google actually is just these beautiful images of lakes, mountains, and just people. Kind of just looked like a dream spot for disc golf. So Vukashin actually came and picked me up from the airport with Kevin, who's one of the photographers, and right from the get-go, very welcoming. He was cracking jokes, messing with Kevin the whole time on the drive.
A little bit about the history of Croatia, or of Montenegro.
history of Montenegro. What is the history of Montenegro? You are asking hard questions, man. You should Google
I only
it.
asked the hard
You should Google it, you know.
It was really comfortable to sit in a car with someone you've never met for 2 hours. A lot of people are funding it and seeing how quickly things are happening, that it's just drawing more attention to it. And it's only been a year and a half since our first project.
One guy from Croatia called me and he said, why you didn't call me that Paul McBeth is coming? I was like, I don't know who you are, you know, how I can call you. And he said, I opened a disc golf club here in Croatia, so if we knew that, we will be there to support you, to be with you.
Yeah, when we were starting it, I didn't want it to be my name. Everyone else did that's on the board. They're like, no, that's going to draw the most attention to it and do this and do that.
Yeah, that was a good idea, actually.
Yeah, so I said, if you guys feel that way, then sure, let's do it. So, yeah, water's so clear. First little town we entered was on the sea. Big houses, beaches, people everywhere. Pictures don't do it justice.
Here in Nikšić, we are in hills. Around is a lot of nature, but here is one hill which called Trebiesa, and it's closest and best opportunity for run and for walk. And if you are going to this hill, you are passing nice park.
Avery designed it and put T-pads specifically near the walkways to draw people in to see it. He put baskets near the roads where cars will drive by and they will see it. And some of them are elevated in these cool little areas to where it's kind of almost like a monument. Very well designed in that aspect. I think it's just going to pull people in.
No matter if these holes are 100 feet long or 1,000 feet long, it's still the same amount of work. You're still putting in 18 baskets and 18 tee pads.
It was a lot of work, definitely. So we were running on every hole, every side, starting from the beginning, some holes as well, digging, putting cement, because here in Montenegro we are working different way.
Like Lowe's and Home Depot isn't right down the street where I can run there 20 times a day and get whatever I need. Renting equipment or having accessibility to equipment is huge. Having a bobcat or a skid steer, and that's what we didn't have.
Nice long day.
We started off with 2 wheelbarrows and ended up with like 6 wheelbarrows. But we had enough volunteers and workers here to cart materials around the course. Even when I was here in May designing the course and, you know, a big American walking around with some marker flags, they were asking what I'm doing, what I'm surveying, what I'm marking out here. And so just that, at the simplest form of me walking around and mapping and designing the course, was getting attention. And now that we're out here with an entire work crew and putting in the baskets, putting in the tee pads, we're getting so much more activity and so much more interest. Wondering what's going on, what is it, and we have to explain disc golf in a very simplistic, you know, the simple, universal, international language of disc golf.
We don't have a lot of machines to order, to, you know, dig for you, to put cement for you, and it was a lot of work, but we managed, and that's the awesome part.
It took us like 2 days to really get through and fill all those boxes. The next thing you do, and you're trying to level it all out, push the crushed stone around, rake it all out, and then tamp it all down. One of the biggest difficulties with that, we got through about 5 holes before the tamper broke. I actually broke the string when I was trying to pull it. And when you don't have a tamper, you're limited on everything. Like, there's no way you're gonna get the right compaction on this crushed stone on these tee pads to offer the best tee pad possible. Getting that fixed was a huge thing. So our guy B from the Netherlands coming through and fixing the springs and making this thing work, he finagled some way to rig it and get it fired up every hole. Got through all the tamping, and it's all about laying the turf on top, wrapping the edges, getting it all nice and tight and taut, and fastening the sides. And these tee pads look beautiful. I had said it earlier when we finished hole 9. With good certainty, I can say this is the best tee pad in the country, because it's the only tee pad in the country.
The park and the course are located in the middle of town, and it's just such a high traffic area. Outdoor gyms, right at around like 3 or 4 o'clock, it just explodes with people and families just walking through the park.
This park, the way it's situated, it's just to the southeast side of the downtown circle, and all the shops, hotels, restaurants.
Vehicles going around and bikes and stuff like that. So it's in one of the most popular areas.
Yeah, when I'm trying to design the course, I'm definitely dialing back a little bit. I'm trying to keep myself in check. Knowing that it's the first course in the country, this is a recreational course. This is sub 4,000 feet over 18 holes, averaging around 220 feet per hole.
All right, here we are on hole number 1, 200 feet. Low ceiling shot to start. Got a little bit of cabbage.
Making sure that families and kids will play out here, but not gonna be so difficult that they're gonna be discouraged, but not so easy that they're just gonna go through it and play it and be just bored with it.
Left it way short.
The big priority, number 1, is safety. Knowing that it's a very high traffic path all the way through it, hundreds if not thousands of people on this thing every single day.
He can ace run and still get the birdie.
Second thing, making it playable, making it fun. People like birdies, you know, you like to walk away when you get a 2. And then bringing in the visual aspects. We got this beautiful cathedral.
Yeah, we're surrounded by this massive church, Saint Bastille.
Positioning the baskets in certain arrangements where you're looking back at the cathedral, or off the top of 17, you're throwing down the hill with the cathedral in the background. Framing up the baskets in between trees. We talked about me being OCD on that. I'm very symmetric, and I look at certain arrangements and balances and distances off trees where I place a basket. I put in like 40 miles just walking this place. Forwards, backwards, sideways, upside down, every single way, covering every square inch of this place to know that I was getting the best arrangement and the best quality holes we possibly could on this park.
Buzz has been doing well. I think this is it. Oh, there we go. Come on.
Blow it up.
Come
Blow
on.
it up. Wow.
I like this hole.
Course
There we
record,
go.
folks.
Course record. Technically, course record. Thank you
brother, it's
so
an honor.
much.
Thank you very much.
It is.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
When we can connect the book machine with disc golf, I think it's like perfect combination. I saw in him that he's doing it for people, not for money or business.
He's just a very kind, outgoing, loving man that wants to see the best for his community.
As a teenager, you always think nobody understands you. You don't have so many people around you with whom you can talk about your feelings, about what's happening in your life. As a child, I had a difficult life. I was 16 years as a teenager doing so many bad things. Once I was in prison, my mother came. We were looking in each other's eyes, and she tried to speak to me, but she didn't know how to react, what to say. I went out of the prison, and a few days later, one police came to me. He said, "Can I talk with you?" But I hated police. And he started talking about that love for me as a bad person. Did somebody care for me? That touched my heart so deeply. When people see me now, it's not easy to believe that I was the criminal. God changed me. And because He changed me, I wanna bring something to these people, to get influence in them. We never should say for kids, no, don't come, don't play, don't do anything. They are most important. They are our future. You go with them, spend time with them, invest in them. Put something out, whatever we have as a gift, put that in them. Go through life with them. Disc golf is part of spending time with them. I saw these 3 days, so many people were coming. They wanted to play, they wanted to join. Can we get those discs, how to play, how to be better. They asked for my phone number to call me later, to join whatever when we are ever playing.
We were kind of pulling people off the walkways, and they were just interested. They'd come and throw some discs, and they would continue on their walk after, but they were exposed to disc golf for the first time ever.
When I heard about Paul McBeth, I saw how, I was thinking maybe he's, he has money, he has influence, he's a famous guy, he'll be just, unreachable. But he's a humble guy, and I love that part. They played with the kids around. His wife, she was all around, playing with those girls all the time, and it was something special.
They're hosting the clinics out there in the field on hole number 9. They were literally pulling kids and families off the walking path, offering them a disc, and bringing them out to the fairway to throw a first shot. A piece of plastic flying in the air, what can do to someone's emotions, and bringing these kids and families out there to experience that for the first time. You can't recreate that. It's amazing.
When you are planning and have something in your head for more than half a year, and finally when it happened, it's something which is like you get feeling that your dream is coming through.
It's a many organization in the world and many promises, unfortunately. But started talking with the crew, with the people from Paul Foundation, I saw, actually this is happening. This is happening. We'll have this in Montenegro, Paul McBeth Foundation, they are people who, what they said, they will do it.
Very popular in the US.
This is the first project with another top-level pro, with Avery Jenkins, who is a world champ. I want this to be a common thing. If you're a professional disc golfer, just reach out, whether it's to me, whether it's to anyone on Jomez, the Paul McBeth Foundation, email, any way, we want players to come on these trips. It's extremely eye-opening. I show up to a disc golf tournament, everyone seems to know who I am. I show up here, nobody knows who I am, I'm just walking down the street, and then I get to share disc golf the same way that you get to share disc golf. They get to share disc golf.
Everybody that worked on this course, it's their course, they have a piece of this. This is going to be the catalyst for the growth of this course and the growth of so many more courses throughout the country.
This golfer in Croatia, he is organizing Balkan tours, and he called me, he said, can we organize a Balkan tour in Montenegro next year? He said, of course. So it's already growing, and I can see the future in it, and those kids, there is next somewhere Paul McBeth and Avery Jenkins.
Having, a father and his daughters out there and just throwing shots, like just brings a smile on my face. I walked away to go to the hardware store and coming back and just seeing all the discs in the air flying. That wasn't here 3 days ago.
I guess if I was to think about 5 years from now, where do I want to see the foundation? One goal is to have a Paul McBeth Foundation project on all 7 continents. We got South America, North America, Europe, we'll have Africa by the end of the year, so that doesn't leave many left. Asia, Australia, and Antarctica. I don't know how we're gonna get a basket in Antarctica. We got 5 years to do it.
I vjerujem da će sutra odavde biti šampiona koji će igrati i koji će se družiti i koji će biti svjetski šampioni iz Nikšića čak. Hvala.
Ne bih vas više opterećivao pričom, već vas sve još jednom najsrdačnije pozdravljam. Živjeli!
It's been a lot of months working in this project, and today cutting that, how you call it, rope, ribbon, cutting that ribbon, it was amazing. Paul McBeth i Avery Jenkins. Hvala te. We did it. We succeeded. And it's done. Now we have course.
And if I'm being honest, like none of this is possible without such a strong team behind the foundation. Being able to make the sacrifices, it's so mind-blowing to me, being in this position and being able to give back so much. I don't know if I can ever give back as much as I've been given, but I want to try.